Hi friends, welcome to another video. Today I am building an 8-sim house using only 34,000 simoleons because 34,000 simoleons is actually the starting budget you get when you place an 8-sim household. Let's dive right on in and I hope you enjoy the video. Okay, so here you guys can see that I've actually started this build in a Willow Creek. I always start every single build that I make by drawing just a box and adding other boxes onto that. Then I go in by deleting all the walls in the interior so that I can create my own layout for the house. I decided to just go over and do the same at the top floor. The shape will change a little bit because when I'm building, I'm noticing that there's not enough space to fit in the kitchen and that there is need for more space downstairs as well for the bathroom, for the bedroom. So I will be changing this shape a little bit, making it a little bit less copy-paste downstairs, upstairs. Now we're diving into the roof, and I struggle a lot with roofing. I think it is one of the hardest things to do in The Sims. I tried to make it have a little bit more of depth, a little bit more of, I don't know, some cool elements to make it a little bit realer. I don't know how to put it, but I've seen this a lot in other builds when I watched building roof tutorials on YouTube, or whenever I look up images, I always see the second floor like having a roof like between the first and second floor because that creates some dimension and makes it look way more real. So here I'm struggling to do that. There's a lot of YouTube videos explaining how you can make all these roof pieces fit into each other, and I think I did pretty well on doing that because I didn't look it up. I was just like trying to wing it. I think it worked. There is a little bit of a, I wouldn't call it a mistake, but a little bit of an issue here where you can see at the right side of like the middle block, there isn't that white border on the wallpaper, but because I couldn't fix it, I tried to fix it, but that didn't work. I just left it there. So I hope that doesn't bother you too much because I just felt like, you know what, I'm not gonna be able to fix it. So let's just leave it. Now I'm painted the house as well, painting the roof, going in with the windows. I wanted to go for a style that fitted with the neighborhood, which is like more of the suburban style. I think my house, like, it doesn't fit in 100%, but I tried to keep it as fitting as possible by using those little white windows, and the wallpaper I feel like matches the surrounding really well. Here I was struggling a little bit with that roof. I'm going to delete it in any second because it just wasn't working. I'm just going to pull it through. Yeah, there we go. So that really isn't perfect, but at that point I was done with roofing and really, really annoyed at it. Picking a door was also a struggle. You'll see me go back and forth between the few same options every single time. Like, is this the best? Is that the best? But I ended up going for this, I think for a base game one, I think I tried to keep the outside quite base game. On the inside, I do use a few packs. I will have to check which ones I actually ended up using. But the outside is, if I am right, completely base game. So then I'm diving in. Floor planning is also one of the hardest things. I know I called roofing one of the hardest things, but I think you can add making floor plans to that list. But what I usually do is place a stair, make a little hallway around it, and then try to work my way around the rooms. And sometimes I like to add little boxes, like draw them out a little bit, so the rooms aren't as much of just like a square or a rectangle, so that it has a little bit of those indents, or however you call that, to make it, I don't know, to make some objects pop a little more, to be able to do more with the room. And then I'm struggling a little bit, as you can see, to fit in that door to go to the kitchen, which you'll see in a little bit that becomes the kitchen. Here is where I started to figure out a bathroom place, because often I build and then I forget to place a bathroom, which is quite awkward because your house obviously needs one of those. So you see me starting on the kitchen. These are parenthood cabinets, so this is not base game. These are actually one of my favorite cabinets because I feel like it fits really well in those suburban looking homes, and they're quite cheap. And you know how in The Sims you can have different types of cabinets, like at the end of your line of your wall of cabinets, and I think those pieces look really cute, and they did a really good job on making this counter. They also have cabinets to go with that, so that's why I obviously used this set from Parenthood. Here is where you can see me start to make some more room because I felt like this kitchen, like it was a little bit too tiny. I couldn't really fit in all the pieces that I wanted to because I really wanted to have that island looking piece. Now I'm decorating a little bit because I feel like a kitchen looks really empty if you don't put any clutter in it, but then the second you just add like 3 or 4 pieces, it looks way more lived in, way more homey. So that is what I did. Now I'm going with the cabinets with a little trick that I use. If you put your BB move objects on, then you can actually press, on my keyboard it's 9, to make objects go higher, and like that the cabinets sit all the way against the wall, against the ceiling, and I think it gives a more clean finish. The wallpaper that I use, I think, is also Parenthood. I'm pretty sure it's Parenthood. The flooring, I don't remember. I'm sorry, I did not see. But that's one of my favorite floors. I think it goes in like more modern houses, but also in houses that give that rustic vibe or that suburban vibe. Initially, I wanted to make this the dining room, but because it's a budget build, I really struggled to find place for an 8 people dining table. So I started with a 4 people dining table, but then I was like, this isn't nice, this isn't good, trying to draw it out all places, like the walls, you could see me play with them. Didn't work out. Then I tried to actually go for an 8 people table using toddler chairs as well. But then you could see I had a little issue because it would not fit in and leave room for an actual living room. So I tried to play with it a little bit more, try to make that room downstairs bigger, but this time I will be using it for the master bedroom. So I let the idea go of placing my dining table there and opted to put another bedroom downstairs, so that all the kids could sleep upstairs. This home is actually made for 2 toddlers, 2 kids, and then 2 teens and 2 parents. So those all sleep upstairs while the parents sleep downstairs. I'm using the Dream Home Decorator doors here, which are really nice doors because I feel like they match with a lot of interior styles. So I decided to use them. They're also pretty cheap and pretty neutral. Here you see me struggle a little bit more with placing in that table. I placed one of the high chairs in the kitchen. I think I kept it there, but in the end I did end up picking a less big table, just a 4 people table. 1, it saves money, and 2, we really just didn't have the space for that big one. Here you can see me even trying to make the space bigger by dragging it out. Didn't like how that looked. It just made it a bigger square. So yeah, I deleted that table, and I'm going to put a smaller table in a little later on. First, I'm working on the living room a little bit. I used the base game couches because they're very cheap, come in a lot of colors, and like they work in any house. Like they work in the more modern houses as well, and they add a little bit of color, which I like. So here I'm just mapping out that living room, trying to make it feel a little bit lived in without using too much clutter because we're pretty low on money. We don't have a lot of money to work with. I think I end up going with that table, which is really cute. It's one of my favorite coffee tables, adding a little poof. I went for a colorful wall. I know it might look a bit unusual, like in a suburban area, but I like to add some color to my walls because it makes the room look more lived and more dressed up. I don't know. The white walls make it sometimes look a bit empty. Here you see me adding in that small table because I really could not fit in a bigger one. I make the house a little bit smaller so that I could add a desk area because I feel like if you're gonna actually play in this house, computer is one of the most important things your sim household can own. Without a computer, you can't really do much. I'd even say, oh, I shook my camera a little bit. I'd even say that a computer is more important than a TV because you can get your fun up, but you also need it for a lot of job tasks. So I added a computer and a little, a bookcase. And now I am trying to fit in this master bedroom. It's not really a master bedroom. It's kind of tiny, struggling to fit in a dresser. Chose this small one, which ended up working really nicely. The sad part is that I couldn't decorate too much. I had to watch the money. So I just added a painting, a little plant, a mirror, And the bed, I think, is from Island Living. It's a really nice one. It works in a lot of styles. Added some paintings, trying to make them aligned. Wanted to experiment a little bit with turning that dresser. It didn't work. Put it back. I think that's almost going to be it for that room. Yep, that is it. Now we're moving on to the bathroom. It is a pretty basic bathroom. The bathroom upstairs is identical to it. Like, it's placed a little bit differently, but I used the same stuff because we didn't have a lot of money and that was the cheap stuff to use and it matched pretty well, so I thought, why not? Then upstairs you can see me place that floor again. It's from Jungle Adventure, I saw now. It's so beautiful, I really like it. And I'm going to start on the kids' rooms. As you can see, I have 4 kids' rooms upstairs and a bathroom, so not each kid gets their own room, which is pretty fine. I think if you have 6 kids on a budget, it would be hard to get 6 kids' rooms in. First, I wanted to put a girls' room up here, a kid or a teen, but it was pretty hard for me to work that with that square space up top there. So I decided to put 2 toddler beds in this room instead and move the kids' room. Because I didn't really have a lot of money to work with, I went with the essentials, a little mirror for decoration, then a toy box, a little, the Blarfy, what do you call that, the big teddy bear, a potty, move that around a little bit, and I think that might be it for that room. Then I moved on to this girls' room. In the end, I ended up making this the teen room and the room next to it as well. So it fits 2 toddlers, 2 teens, and then the last room will be for 2 kids to share. But at this point in my mind, it was still going to be a kids' room, as you can see. But that's not what I ended up going with. I'm going to delete that little table, the drawing table, in a bit. Finally was able to fit a dresser in somewhere without it looking odd. I think that little nook in the corner was perfect for that. Changed out the desk for a bigger one because at this point I was like, okay, this is going to be a teenager. I'm not adding a computer because that's way too expensive with our budget, and there's already one downstairs for if they would ever really need a computer. Then I'm going to use that same bed from Dream Home Decorator for the teenage boys room, but in a different color, and I'm going for different color tones in this room. Trying to find a little painting that looks nice. I think this was a good one. Adding a little bit of decoration because it really, adding a little plant does a lot, I feel like, to your rooms. I gave him a guitar as well because I feel like this would be a pretty boring house with only a computer and a bookcase and like no other skill items, so this puts a guitar in the home for everyone to use, really. Then I started to decorate this teenage girls' room. Looked at the money we had left, decided to remove the decorations again because that really wasn't in our budget. Now, the last kids' room, the last sim room, is going to be this one where 2 kids can share this bedroom. I struggled a lot with this one because it's a very awkward shape. It's just like a long room. So a lot of middle space it just gets lost a little bit. You can't like really put any items in there. So I kept it pretty simple here also because our budget was running out. I only had 2K left at this point, as you can see, and still need to do the bathroom. So I think that's how I left that kids' room. Might be that I go back to it and add something. I'm not really sure of that. Oh yeah, here you can see I'm trying to desperately find something to make it a little bit cuter. Added that little corkboard, added is that a cat? I think that's a cat. And a lamp, and then a little bit of clutter on this dresser. At least it looks a little bit better now. The one thing that annoys me is that there's no curtains. Like in the entire house, there's 0 curtains because they're really expensive and I had a lot of small windows. So if you were to play with this house, the starter budget can allow you to buy this, and then if you make a little bit money, you can always add those in and add some paintings around because I also didn't really get to do that. Now I'm just working on the outside, trying to fence this porch. But I had to use these cheap fences. I checked for other fences, but because of our budget, that wasn't a possibility. Even though they don't differ that much in price, we were really at the 34K mark right now. Oh, I forgot. I ended up deleting the guitar. So it is a bit boring at the beginning to play in this household. You can also use your first paycheck for that. Because guitars are pretty expensive and I didn't feel like there was anything else to delete. So it kind of sucks, but there was no other way. I'm trying to work at this porch right now. looking at how it looks with the entire house. And then I went in with some landscaping. As you can see, I typed in BB show hidden objects and also BB show live edit objects so that I would have some debug items that are free to use. They are items that you can find all throughout the world, but that don't go in your catalog if you're trying to make something. So you type in those cheats to get them. And like that, you can have some free plants outside to make it look a bit better. I kept it pretty simple because it is still a budget house and didn't want to use debug too much. So I think that is going to be it for this, the outside of the house. I just changed the stairs a little bit here, but that was pretty much all I think that I'm still going to be doing. And I think overall, like, the thing that I dislike a little bit is that it doesn't have a bigger table, but yeah, that's all. I think we can go in and overview everything now. So this is how it looks. I added in a random sim to just go over the entire house now. So this is what it looks like now. I added a trash bin because I forgot. I didn't have that in the clip. And then I have just added a little bit of terrain paint. So when you go into first person mode, I can't enter the house, wait. I always struggle a lot with this. When you go into first person mode, there we go, please. This is basically what it looks like. I'm gonna drop it down a little bit. So here would be a nice spot to add a painting, but we didn't have any money for that. So that's what it looks like. I think it looks quite quaint. I don't know if this is enough like seating areas for every sim in your 8-sim household. The small table could use a little plant on it. Here we go into the kitchen. This is the room that I like the most, I think. I think it looks the most finished out of all rooms. Like we could add something on this wall maybe, but other than that, I think it looks pretty, like it, pretty decent kitchen. Parents' bedroom over here. Pretty simple, but with the paintings, it also looks like one of the most finished rooms. And then last room downstairs, have right here. Just a simple bathroom. Nothing special. This is a bit high, but that's fine. Let's try to go upstairs. I don't really know with this tool how to go upstairs, so I might struggle a little bit with that. No, I'm just gonna do it like this, like that. So, where are we? There we go. So now we're upstairs. Nothing really in this hallway. Just gonna use a little table, little art, but that's fine. If you go in here, you see the toddler's room, which is pretty cute. It's a decent toddler room. Well, a toy box. Then here you have that teen girl's room. Not really special. Would be really, really nice if she had some clutter on that desk or on her dresser. I'm struggling. Okay. And then if you go outside here, teen boy's room. Looks like a decent room, I feel like. Bookcase and everything. Another very basic bathroom, but with a bathtub, because you have to wash your toddlers in a bathtub. And then last but not least, we have this kid's room, which ended up looking nicer than I first had it. The little clutter items really work. So yeah, that is the entire house. So there we have it. So that was it for today, you guys. I hope you enjoyed watching me build this. I'm pretty new to doing like speed builds and everything. So if you have any tips, recommendations, or changes that you think I could make to it, please let me know in the comments. I'm very open to learn more about how this is done best. However, I do hope that you enjoyed it. I hope you liked the build itself. And I will see you in the next video. Thank you so much for watching. Bye, guys.